Hello everyone, it's me, Con from C from Gaming, back again with another Unscripted Memories. The summer is over. I'm gonna get back to those memories soon. Gotta commission some assets and stuff. But in the meantime, I'll just do Unscripted Memories to fill time. And since I talked about summer gaming conferences last month, let's talk about some more. Except this time, I'm gonna talk about one in particular, which has an interesting history to it and a weird cult of sorts. And the next time, I'll talk about the Partner Showcase and Gamescom. So let's get into not a big event. They wanted it to be, but it wasn't a big event. Don't kid yourselves. It's the live stream of the Intellivision Amico. So you may be asking, what the fuck is an Intellivision Amico? Well, it's this micro console of sorts was planned to come out in October 2020 and is delayed till April of 2021. But basically, it's this like small indie game system for indie games that's the Intellivision brand from the 1980s. It's an old ass system. I remember once I was at a friend's house in my cabin area, and they had upstairs an Intellivision in their attic next to the NES. They didn't have any games for it, just a bunch of the overlays and that weird rotary controller. But I thought it was cool to see the Intellivision actual system in person. But this Amico just was announced out of nowhere like 2 years ago from this guy named Tommy Tallarico, and he's apparently a big musician for games and stuff, and I had never heard of him until that announcement. And looking at all the games I played over the years, the only game I owned that he did aiming for was the Game Boy Color version of Prince of Persia, which is a pretty good game. It actually has a pretty good soundtrack, if I may be honest, so he did do a good job on that. But I was like, okay, it's weird that composer is like making a new game system, but it's probably like, maybe a small niche like that Atari box that's in development hell. And then I just, went on my life. Okay, it's gonna be a new system, probably with some indie games, like not the Ouya, but it's probably gonna be like a micro console for people like the brand. Like the Atari box is like this Linux, whatever. Then in the middle of 2019, I started to hear some weird stuff about like a new Earthworm Jim is gonna be exclusive to the Amico, which everyone who liked the series was like, what the heck's the Amico, and why is this game being exclusive to a system that no one's gonna buy for it? And then I looked in to see what sort of other games they announced for it, and they really didn't announce many games back then for the Amico. I don't remember they showed the controller off, but I just know it seemed weird. And then in like August of 2019 or so, I want to say, a bunch of people suddenly out of nowhere wouldn't shut up about the thing. Like, some small YouTubers I didn't necessarily subscribe to, but saw my recommended feeds, like, advertise the shit out of this Amico, and I did not know what they're talking about. Why are they talking about it? And it confused me, and I just was more confused. And then I remember another confirmation of Earthworm Jim 4 being on the Amico, and then it mostly blew up when a few friends of mine started pointing out that the creator of Earthworm Jim is a notorious transphobic dickhead and has been for years now. So if he's involved with the game, it's not necessarily one you want to get if you don't want to support those kind of people. But it's a tricky dilemma and stuff. I won't go into that. Just know that, yeah, trans rights. I say trans rights. See from gaming, trans rights. But yeah, I could tell why some people didn't like that, like, new game. And then I saw some out of nowhere weird ass small scale YouTubers and a few medium sized ones dogpile on these gaming like journalists I'm friends with because they didn't like it. They were told that, hey, this transphobic guy made a game that everyone liked and he probably shouldn't be brought back for the fourth game. And a bunch of these weird YouTubers that are drama YouTubers like dunked and like harassed these people, and like, what the hell would you? It's a long story, which is why I'm trying to truncate it until the year of 2020. But basically, that was when I heard the first big stuff about the Amico, was when a bunch of controversy about Earthworm Jim 4 was around, and then I saw these weird YouTubers like promoting the system, and I think they said, Tommy and Cole said that the guy behind Earthworm Jim was only a consultant. He's not involved in the game. I don't know how true that is. I don't really buy it, but that's just me. But they did try to fan the flames, and they also know that they want to be a family-friendly system for all, so only E10 plus games and lower can be on the system. Pretty stupid, if I may be honest. I see the point, kind of. But in general, it just seemed like, oh, a niche little high score chaser machine. Maybe I'll get it because I'm a high score nut and I'm like addicted to high score like games and stuff. And one of my YouTubers I follow a lot was brought up in the podcast he does, and he was like, "Well, this system hasn't really had any prototypes shown. It seems like a weird collection of mobile games. We don't know much about this thing, and that's the truth. We don't know much about this thing." So I was like kind of skeptical on it, and then again, those weird drama YouTubers came out of nowhere and wouldn't stop dunking on this guy I watched the podcast of, and that made me a bit suspicious, which made me just assume that those drama YouTubers like to dunk on everyone because they want to get clicks. They are desperate for their drama YouTube clicks because they have to get mad if someone insults their random ass plug and play box of sorts. But it wasn't until earlier this year when I started looking into Amico way, way more. And thus, that brings us to the present, kind of, when in February they were talking about how later that year they're going to launch in October. That podcast I watched did more and more episodes discussing that this thing probably won't make October if there's no games they announced or dated and we don't know much about the system. And then they did this weird VIP pre-order trailer where you could pre-order a cool wood grain edition of the Amico. It looks neat, and it has these. But the problem is with the Amico, they had these weird rotary joysticks. It's not even joysticks, it's a spinning wheel like the iPod from 2005, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" But I thought it was kind of funny. They could maybe do a monkey ball like game on it or something fun, but not a major system. I assumed, oh, it won't be a major system. But the more I looked into this Amico YouTube channel, the Intellivision channel Tommy made, looked into all the interviews, all the gameplay footage and trailers, it just seemed more and more weird to me. Like, the whole thing had a bit of arrogance to it, and the trailers were for mobile-ass games, not like fun ones, like literally mobile quality and budget games. I think in the March trailer they revealed, which is when my any interest I might have had was just evaporated. They showed off a bunch of just god awful mobile tier games that didn't have much of anything to do with like any worth for a system. They announced the new Moon Patrol. I like Moon Patrol, the arcade one. I'm an arcade nut, as I say, so I do like Moon Patrol. It's a IWM game. But like at the event, I believe they showed off a Night Stalker, which is this actually pretty cool 3D remake of this top-down game that a few friends of mine are making at Digital Eclipse / Other Ocean. So I'm excited. I do want to play that if it comes to another system. And then, besides that, just a bunch of weird games, and none of them look good. Some of them look bad. In the podcast I was watching, know that the Evil Knievel game is just a reskin of a bunch of like touch tilt-based physics games that you've seen a gazillion times, and I can vouch I've seen those games a gazillion times on my iPad and iPhone over the years. So I was like, what is the system supposed to be? And then it got more out of hand, because I saw way more YouTubers, like even ones with 500, 1,000 subscribers, some smaller than me, that were getting these random ass Intellivision Amico items, like a t-shirt, hat, merch, bunch of stuff, and then you get news drops, and then they get to interview the guy, which to be fair, you can interview people if you know the way around. I've done that on my website. But like, this just felt like shilling the sort of stuff I saw from Amico. These channels that had nothing else, no views for anything else, suddenly got a bunch of views because a bunch of Intellivision Amico fans watched their videos on the Amico. And whenever I gave them a glance, they never asked any hard questions or any, like, challenging stuff at all. It was like literal shilling. I cannot describe it any other way except like yes man, being a yes man, basically. There were a few interviews I did see that were pretty good. They did ask him hard questions, but whenever those were asked, Tommy would just skirt around the issue, brush it off, or say we'll talk about it later. Doesn't instill confidence in a game system that was meant to come out in 7 months from that point. And it just, the podcast I was watching got more and more suspicious of this thing, because it seemed like another toy box. We don't know what the hell's going to come out for it, so are we going to see actual footage of it and whatnot? It was just a mess. But, you know, as I mentioned before, a bunch of shill people were getting, like, this free stuff. And unlike review copies where, you know, you disclose, I got this, but I'm going to review it. And most of the time, it's just their opinion. No, none of these videos really felt like that. It was just 40-year-old people that were randomly excited for this micro console that looked like as good as the Uila to me. And it may have a few hidden gems, but like some of these videos I saw were people just being way too like overly energetic, which is kind of weird to say because people can like what they like, but it's tough to explain. Um, Basically, some people, I guess I could say, the people who were doing these YouTube videos were banking a lot on this Amico being a hidden gem of a system with lots of hidden underground hits, and it'll be like a side system that'll be the best micro console of them all, or bring family gaming back to the bedroom. And it just got weirder and weirder because anytime I heard these YouTubers say family gaming back to the bedroom, I was like, there's a Nintendo Switch. It literally does that, and all the plug and plays come with two systems except the NES Mini. So like, why the hell is this the system to bring back Family Game Night if Family Game Night's already brought back, or just not relevant anymore? It made no sense, and it just got weird and weird. And again, the drama YouTubers came back and continued to dunk on these random people that did not like the system or made videos saying, I don't think this is going to be a good system. They'll probably come for me at this rate. I have some of them blocked because they harass my friends. But, like, it's just a maddening case, if I may be blunt. It just makes no sense. This Amico is just confusing. We are already talking about April. I'm not getting into the main event yet because it just gets worse and weirder. But, like, yeah, every month they announced some minor stuff out the Amico, said it would come out in October. No real indication it was even close to being prototyped anywhere, fully shown off, whatnot. It's just weird. And I just thought, oh, well, E3 will come. They'll probably talk about it then because all these people talk about E3. And then COVID hit, E3 canceled. They still said it was coming out in 2020 in October, so I guess we are still on track. So it made little sense again. And then I saw a big channel I used to subscribe to called Review Tech USA do an interview with Tommy. The whole freaking time he wore an Intellivision Amico t-shirt and again refrained from asking hard questions or got much answers on hard questions. And then he threw a fit at that podcaster I mentioned earlier for saying that he should have gone to an interview with a t-shirt of the product he was supposedly interviewing about that's not even out yet. That just screams like, I got free stuff. I don't care. Ugh, it's just... If I seems like I'm going in circles, I am, because I don't even know what this thing is at this point. All I know is that I tuned out for a bit. The podcast I watched stopped talking about a bit. There was really not much info on the system, except like a few things shown off in June. Insurance that's going to be out in October still. Then in July, they announced with these cringy, weird skit videos that there was going to be a big event in early August, I believe. It was probably mid-July they announced this, now to think about it. But like, it was these weird skits that made little sense. They burned the controller on one of them for some reason. And they were like, oh, this is a big event. It's like a direct of sorts. We're going to talk about family-friendly gaming, and this is going to be amazing. And around this time, the podcast started talking about the system again, and then they mentioned this blog called Amico Games for Leo. So I mean, it's this weird blog that basically compiles a bunch of people who are skeptical about the Amico and whatnot, or people who wanted the Amico and were like, I don't think I want this anymore. But, I always try to see both sides, and some people dunk on stuff, but I like it, like Mystery Dungeon's one of them. And, of course, high score chasers, some of them people don't like because they're simple, but I like the simplicity. It's for me. So a system full of simplistic high score games isn't a bad thing if the games are good. But for me, none of the games look good. Except that Moon Patrol game might be promising, but I didn't know much about it. And it just kept going. And then I remember while reading that the guy on the blog mentioned Atari Age and how they were like beyond shells. They were a cult for this system. I was like, no way. They're on Atari form. They might as well be. They're probably just excited for both the Intellivision and the VCS, whatever that is. And so I checked Atari Age out, because a lot of people bitch about sites that they are too cult-like. They ban me because I say something. Most time when you get banned from those sites, it's because you're an asshole and you deserve it. So I was like, okay, I'll just give this a shot and see what I think about it. They were underestimating what they meant by cult. The Intellivision Amico thread on Atari Age has 800 plus fucking pages for this stupid thing. And I just, read, I think I read 50 to 100 of them before I just couldn't take it anymore. My brain started to melt. I think I read 50 of the first pages and 50 of the recent ones, and like basically it was with Tommy, the guy who makes the system, posting, "Oh hey, I have a new system coming out. I'll give you exclusive info and updates." And a bunch of people are like, "Oh cool, we like scorechasers. Let's look into it." And it seems fine at first. Then in 2020, I looked at the 2020 post, and it just got weirder and weirder and weirder, and it was just nothing but positivity, praise, shitting, excitement. Not one concern, which confused me because even stuff like the next gen consoles have people concerned for stuff about them. Like PS5, people are concerned about the launch lineup. Xbox X, people are concerned about no Halo. Switch, people are concerned about nothing. Like, surely there could be a phone where no one could be concerned about a system, right? So I did more digging. I looked a few pages back to see about the Amico and see if anyone had anything critical to say about it all. And then I just saw a bunch of people linking videos from random YouTubers, even small ones, probably like myself, who were critical of the thing. And instead of, I mentioned before, a lot of these small YouTubers who were positive got their videos lots of views, lots of likes, lots of promotion and free stuff. And lots of these people who were critical got lots of not free stuff, and I guess lots of dislikes, and people saying, "Oh, this isn't for you. You don't know that this is going to bring family-friendly gaming back to the living room." And it was just like cringy as hell. And I just remember watching some of these videos and agreeing with a lot of them. They were just reasonably concerned, mostly that it's not a budget system anymore. It's going to be $300 to $400. I think it's just $299 now, or $200. I don't know how much the system is going to cost. I just know it's going to be stupidly expensive. $200 and above is not what the system should be, and people who were pointing it out were getting dunked on the toy age. And a bunch of people were like, really? Again, cult-like. They would not say anything negative about this damn thing at all. And I was just curious, just why are these people like this? So I asked anonymously on that blog, why is this Atari Age site just won't shut up about this Amico and say it's the best system ever? And then I found it's because this one moderator must love the system so much that he just erases or bans everyone who says anything critical, brings up a single concern at all, even if they're longtime members, because I guess he doesn't want anyone to say anything negative about his boy Tommy. It kind of makes it literally more of a cult because they're basically bowing down to this guy because he's a popular musician. That's pretty scary if you're not listening to feedback, and as you know as a reviewer, game devs and companies need to listen to feedback. It's 101. So again, holy shit, this just keeps getting weirder and weirder. And sure enough, I was refreshing the thread and I saw one guy post that he thought the game lineup looked kind of poopy and that he just wanted some more core games for the family. And then in a few hours I checked back and that post is a waste. That's a good sign of criticism. It just gets weird and weird, but I was like, fine, Atari Age is nutcases, they're shills. They probably should have gone the way of Nintendo Age, who didn't deserve the gold collect. They should have swapped with Nintendo Age. Whatever the case, Atari Age is weird, whatever. So I wait for the event to make my own judgment, because, maybe they'll surprise me and it'll be a system I'll reluctantly buy, maybe. A day before the event was to happen, well, it was the day of the event happening, it got delayed a day later. And then it got leaked online and said that Earthworm Jim was a big game, of course it was. And there was the same night stock of Breakout, a few other games were shown off and whatnot, licenses were obtained and whatnot. And they just announced it was delayed till April 2021. Okay, no one saw that coming totally. They said for months it would be October, which I don't blame them for, but it seems kind of, that's we have to delay it because we have to make these games finish, and more like, we have to delay it because we don't even have a system to show off. So I was like, okay, this is weird. Wonder what the Atari Age weirdos are talking about in this thread. And in the Atari Age thread, they were not talking about it. And someone shared a link to it, and then they were banned or deleted in minutes. Why won't you want the people to know about the leaks or at least get concerned? And then, oh my god, this gets... The event happens. We get to the main event. The Intellivision Amico presentation. I slept in. I didn't care to watch it live. I watched it afterwards, or at least skimmed it because I was so bored by it all. It was an hour long, and a lot of it was filler garbage. Like, they talked about, oh, hey, we like the Intellivision brand. People grew up with it. They showed cool pictures of people with their Intellivisions. Kind of nice gesture. I like when, people say it's nostalgia milking, which is overdone. I do like when people who grew up with systems get to talk about the new system, and if they're honest about it, it's a good way to, say, oh, hey, I grew up and I want to see what this is like growing up too. But then they just talked a lot about family-friendly gaming, and they didn't really show much interesting at all. Like, Night Stalker still looks cool. Breakout's from Choice Provisions, who's a great developer, so I'm confident they will make a good game. They made Bit Trip Beat, which is a little Breakout clone, so I'm actually thinking that's two good games they have right there. They showed Moon Patrol off after saying there was a demo on Android earlier that week, and it looks like shit. It's literally a mobile, mobile-like. It's like the PS1 3D remakes from back in the 90s, which is not a good look. They did have an Island guy say that, oh, this is Moon Patrol, we were proud to bring it back, and it just looks like Moon Patrol, but uglier. So, like, what the frick's the point? And that was a crushing disappointment. And I just watched more and more of it. More people announcing games with no footage or much at all. No release dates for any of these games, not even for launch, except for like a couple ones. Like, they announced this beanbag game, which is apparently called Cornhole. And apparently it's a packing game. And apparently it's licensed by the American Cornhole Association, who I did not know existed. That was weird ass to do Cornhole as a system seller, packing, Wii Sports like. Again, weird. And I just kept watching it, and the presentation just dragged on and on. I just skimmed ahead until I saw a game I liked or a developer I recognized. Didn't really do that much. And at the end, they showed off, like, Earthworm Jim 4. They announced it was a big announcement. Earthworm Jim, we're going to show it off for the first time ever. It was a one cycle on a beach that looks pretty okay with, I think, recycled voice lines from the first game. I recognized the voice from the first game. I have the Genesis one, the mini. Actually, the mini, I think, no, it's right there. But, yeah, they just reused a voice line, did a weird, toony Earthworm Jim that walked around for like a few seconds, and that was it. That was a big announcement. Walk cycle. No date, no price, no time. It was like weird. Just the whole event is weird. That's how I can describe the event. As a score chasing fan, I was not convinced. I thought it was dreadful. The podcast I listened to thought it was dreadful after the fact too, and I went to a toy to see if they were still shitting for it, and yep, a bunch of them were. Hardcore, and some of them were weird as. Just insane. I saw one guy say he thinks that Cornhole is going to be the next Wii Sports, and everyone's going to buy the Amico, and it'll be a system seller or the best micro console of all time. No one's going to buy a system over a freaking beanbag game, especially a mobile-looking one. Like, Night Stalker, even if it's a good game, I think it will be, won't be a system seller. Earthworm Jim 4 won't be a system seller with how people hate the creator. Like, there's no system sellers on this. And he says, oh, we aren't competing with the next-gen systems. No, I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then you have these people in this thread saying, oh, it's going to be better than the next-gen systems. And then Tommy liking the post or saying, oh, yeah, we'll dominate the market in our corner with the family-friendly gaming. And then I looked to see what other people reacted to it like, and of course the YouTube people who got all the free shit was like, oh my god, this system's awesome, and then a few people who were on the fence were like, this isn't what I wanted at all, including family-friendly gaming, who literally has family-friendly gaming in their title. They don't like the family-friendly gaming system. That's really telling that the launch lineup is not good. And then I saw like another person who was like, just hated the whole thing, like start to finish, and didn't like it. And then I saw more YouTubers that just shelled it, and then I'm getting a headache. That's how much this stupid system is confusing me. But a bunch of these random people were just shitting the system like they always were, and the ones that were on the fence and wanted to give it a fair shot were just not excited. And again, on a toy age, I saw some people that were excited for it that weren't anymore, and then the posts got erased when they said, I don't think the system looks good. And this is, asking, hey, do you know if you announce something I like? And then time to say, we probably will, or we'll try to. Like, they still wouldn't take criticism. And then to make matters worse, Tommy went to that podcaster's comment section. He did a few times before this. But I should mention, No reason I won't buy this thing is because Tommy is an unprofessional douchebag. Not like Doug Tenapo, but like anytime someone critiques the Amico, he posts a gigantic paragraph in the comments about how, oh, they got everything wrong. This system's gonna be a big seller. Oh, it's not for you. Oh, it's this and that. He just damage control to the extreme. And oh my god, just you're a company head. Be professional. That's like if Reggie would have rant about people not liking the Switch because the Joy-Con's looking dumb. Like, oh my god, the whole weeks of unprofessionality. Needless to say, the Intellivision Amico event is a disaster. I hate it. I didn't watch it live, I skimmed through it. It was a boring presentation, and I bet if you watch this video and aren't from the weird Toy Age quote, aren't someone who knows the system from Jim, or aren't someone who knows it from, I guess, the podcaster guy's videos. I'm not naming him because I don't want the crazy people who hate him to go after me, but, like... It's a train wreck. And the weird part is, I'd probably be fine if it's a train wreck, like the VCS looks like a train wreck, but the way they're handling it publicly is just so bad. They won't, like, stop shilling on this stupid message board. They literally put a police state of a moderator there that just erases anyone with critiques or concerns about this console. They expected to launch in April, and they didn't even show off the system booting up. Like, they showed it off, but they cut the black before, you see it on screen and stuff, and like... Looks CG. At least I can tell it's like a CG trailer. But like, the whole system just seems like a train wreck. And it's the whole way they're handling it. I think I'm more upset by how Tommy's an unprofessional guy. And how he's relying on these YouTubers who want views so badly they'll get free stuff. But instead of like me, where I give, feedback and brutally honest, they just share it up. Or if they get concerned, they're like told something that'll make them happy and they stop getting concerned. And like, it's painfully obvious that a lot of YouTubers you see promoting this thing just aren't genuine. It's just driving me insane. And, one of the YouTubers I remember, one of the drama ones I mentioned I didn't like because he harassed some of my friends, were like, his videos on it are like the most silly of the shill of the shill. He even pokes fun of himself being a shill by calling himself a shill. I can't describe how bad it is. It's basically him praising the thing nonstop, thinking it's the best event ever, thinking every fucking announcement is the best. Stuff like Cornhole is not worth caring about, or Sesame Street licenses, or MLB. Like, it's not that revolutionary. Like, Jesus. And a bunch of people pointed out that apparently this guy made a video that was more critical of the Amico, like, before, I guess, it got, close to the a few, like, I think a year ago or something. And then, like, Tommy, I guess, invited him over to try it out or something, rolled around a Ferrari. And I guess ever since then, he's full shill mode. He has all these shirts, hats, and other shit, and won't shut up about the system. What happened to that car ride? In fact, why even a car ride at all? Like, seriously, why, like, demoing the system at an event? That makes sense. People do that at VCS and whatnot. I don't know why you can't see the system in action and, these people demoing it. That'd be neat to see off-screen gameplay. I know there's no conferences, but surely someone could whip something up, right? And like, oh my god, just it drives me my head in circles. Like, so like this guy with no integrity that harasses people and makes most of his videos drama-based and talks about like toxic stuff because he wants those clicks. Like literally most of him is like Diet Corderine, who's a bearded racist. So that should tell you the sort of stuff he makes. Except I hope not. I ain't even bothered to look to see if he's racist. I'm not going to call this small YouTuber racist. But he's just like drama channel. He just drama. Amico, drama. He milks it. He milks what gets him views. And I don't mind the fact people, focus on stuff that gets them views. But it's always negative and drama stuff, and you're doing it for the views instead of to have fun, or just, to express your opinions like I am. What's the point? But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is if somehow I come back in 2 months, say it's the best system ever made, and like, you should try it, but I won't show you the game, or the system, or my trip, or anything. I was kidnapped by Tommy Talrico, put in the Ferrari, and taken to play HD Remaster Vadis 1 that looks amazing, but I can't talk about because it probably will never come out. I don't know. That'll do it for this Intellivision Amico Unscripted Memories. I talked fast. There was a lot to talk about. I was stressed because this system gives me a headache to talk about. Probably give you a headache to listen to. And for Atari age people, I know you're coming. I know you people with dislikes are coming. I'm expecting all the dislikes. All the dislikes are coming from Atari age. Why are you dirty 40-year-old people excited for this system? Like, literally, let me know. I know some people like the brand, like the score chasers. Take this. I'm 22 years old. I'm a score-chasing maniac. I love games to get high scores, beat game loops. I own arcade archives on all the systems. I'm an arcade nut. A lot of these games, if they were arcade score-chasing based that were good, I'd like. I already mentioned I like 2 of the games shown, Night Stalker and Breakout. But like that's not to sell me on a system, and the guy behind it's unprofessional, and the whole thing's a mess, and I don't even know what's going on, so let me know. I'll try to see both sides, but if you're like a dick or just rant about my voice or something, I will erase the comment. But on my tongue, I'll let both sides stay up. I will do my best. Just be courteous. Really, just be courteous. That's all I ask. But like, even if you're excited for this, can you at least tell the Atari people to stop erasing critique or concerns? Because that just makes the moderator there look like a giant ego-sucking maniac. That was one weird unscripted memories. I ramble and go insane for once. But next time I'm going to talk about the partner showcase that happened as the day of filming, today, the Wednesday. And I'll talk about Gamescom. I think it'll be next weekend when the episode is live because I'll make it Patreon early for feedback and editing reasons. This should go up on the 28th, I think, or the 29th. But yeah, let me know what you think of the Amico. You probably haven't heard of it, so this should give you a bit of up-to-date stuff. I'll try to include pictures and cards to make this more contextualized. But yeah, besides that, take care and bye!